Hey, it's Ed. Welcome to another edition of Ed Talk. One of my favorite people, one of my favorite topics. So it's like a double bonus. So Jeri, welcome to Ed Talks.
Thank you, Ed, for having me. It's always so much fun to spend time with you.
Yeah, I love hanging out with you, Jeri. Plus, I want to cover so many different things with you. I know we only have like 10 minutes. So we want to talk about mental and physical health, but you're also one of the pioneers out there for women in healthcare leadership. So tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of you've been a CIO, I think since 2019, 5 years, 6 years.
It feels
Some
like a lifetime right now. Yeah, no. So a little bit about myself. I am the Chief Information and Digital Officer for Marshfield Clinic Health System, which is in central Wisconsin. We cover a very rural patient population that covers a very large geography of our state. And, I do love what I do, and I love the fact that I am in a position where I can have an impact not only, for the patients that we serve, but also for the women in this industry. I do think that it is about reaching back and being able to pull additional people forward. And I do think somebody one time had made the statement to me, you need to see it to believe it. And so I definitely want to make it an opportunity for being seen and being heard and being an example for other women to join this amazing industry, but also in technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. No, you're definitely one of the pioneers and one of the leaders out there. So I really appreciate you. And I know a lot of other people do as well. Now, one of the ways that we connected, and I don't even remember the year, Jeri, it feels like we've known each other at least 10 years.
Mhm.
But we connected, of course, we were at dinner together and we started talking about working out. I don't know how it quite came up, but we both are really into sort of the mental and physical health of things. And we started talking about Peloton and different things like that. So ever since then, we hit it off, and we've actually done some things. We've done a talk for Chime before on this topic, and both of you and I are passionate about it. Is that how you remember it, or did I make that up?
Well, I do remember it knowing that it was like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting at the table with Marx. I'm so excited to talk to this guy because I've been admiring you for a while.
Yeah.
You've definitely been somebody that is leading in this industry, but you're also somebody that has been bringing that personal side in reflection of that into this industry. So I've always been admiring you for a while. So I do remember the dinner, and I do remember our conversation about taking care of ourselves and you obviously are much more high performing athlete than I am. But I do remember the conversation, and I do remember like, oh, he's here and I get to talk to him.
Well, it's definitely mutual. So yeah, we're just talking about we're just incorporating mental and physical health in our daily lives because we have a stressful job. I mean, CIO, I don't want to say is more stressful than another C-suite position, but certainly, as you know, it touches every aspect of the health system. So there's a little added stress plus this whole cyber thing. So let's tackle mental health first. What's your approach with mental health?
Yeah, in mental health, there's a couple of aspects that I look at it from that perspective. And one is, I've actually spent a lot of time trying to understand, what are some of those things that are triggers for me when I know that my mental health is not in a good place, or I'm not being my best self, or I'm not in a position where I'm going to present my best self and be able to lead with my best self. And so I spend a lot of time getting to know and understand some of those feelings and recognizing those feelings when they're happening, and then recognizing that there are ways for me to be able to address that. So I do things like meditation. I do use physical exercise as a way for my mental health as well. And so there's a number of different things where I know those kind of things are triggering myself, that I know that I need to be able to walk away for a minute and be able to try tap into those things in order to do that. And I've even had conversations with my executive admin. My family knows this. The people that I work with that know this, where they also can feel comfortable saying that, Jeri, I'm surprised by your reaction, and it gives me a chance to reflect on it. And like, you know what? I could use a half-hour break right about now. I'll be right back, and I'll come back in a better place. And so I'm just creating those spaces. And sometimes that's meditation, and sometimes that is physical exercise, or sometimes that's just being outside in some fresh air for a little bit will help me in those spaces.
That's powerful. Well, there's two things that caught me. One was there's not really a separation between mental and physical health. And The second one was that pause or that half hour people sort of know, because I've been in those situations all the time, Jared. I've never practiced that. I know I've heard that before, but now I've kind of sunk in for the first time listening to you, because I've been in those situations where it was just bad and I just wanted to escape, and I didn't have the courage to say, I need a timeout. I got to escape. And so then you end up just going down a really bad place. And I've done that more than once. So that's super helpful. I'm definitely going to incorporate that in my life. So that's super practical. And yeah, again, the whole physical mental thing, there's definitely a combination. And we don't have enough time to jump into it, but there definitely is this interrelationship or integration, as we might say, interface in our tech jargon. So let's just say there's a listener and they're like, wow, that's Jeri. And she's, this high performing exec. And she does this meditation every day and she does some workout. What would you say to that person that's not really doing anything? How can they start?
Well, and there's the, dipping your toe in the water, but then there's also the like going full tilt. There's like some form of balance in between. If you want to actually build a practice in order to be able to do it on a regular basis, you actually really need to create that habit. And you need to be transparent with the people around you that you're building this habit. And so it is one of those things where sometimes I want to hit the snooze in the morning and kind of miss over that meditation because it's like, I'm really tired. I could use 10 more minutes. And I will have my husband tap me. He's just like, hey, just get moving for the day. You'll feel, it's like, yeah, you're right. So let's just get moving. Or being able to just build those little things that you can just, if you start small and you make it repetitive, it becomes part of that day where it's like, if you don't do it, you're actually feeling like you're missing it. And so those are the types of things where you have to build that in, and you actually do have to proactively work your calendar. That is probably one of the most precious things to me, is working my calendar. I'm a mom of teenage kids and they are a very, very active group. My husband is huge in advocacy and active, he's huge in our community as well. And plus this position. And so if I don't think about my calendar and I don't plan out my calendar, and I do have to say no to certain things in order to make capacity for the things that are important for me. And so really managing my calendar to let me build those habits is one of the key things that I've had to do.
Yeah, that's a great tip there. If you don't schedule it, it probably won't happen. And Jeri, you also mentioned that you had two kids who are now teenagers, but you've been working out for some time. How did you, because, some people might say, hey, I'm all in, I want to do that, but maybe when my kids are teens, I can do it. How did you build in the time? Was it the same sort of technique when your kids were younger with the calendar, or was there any other sort of tip that you might have for people who have younger kids?
Yeah, so I actually had to find something that worked for me. I know a lot of people will go to the gym or they'll go, to a set class and they feel obligated to do that. And for me, what worked for me was and this is where one of the things that we related over is that we bought other Peloton equipment. So for me, it's not a set time for my workout. It's when I have time. And so my hour breaks during the day aren't going to be the same time every day. And sometimes it's in the evening, sometimes it's during work, and sometimes it's in the morning. And so with that flexibility, I'm able to just run downstairs, do my workout, be able to take care of that or go for my run, and then being able to come back and get ready for the rest of the day, whether that's, again, any time during the day. And so, I've had to manage my calendar on top of that just so I have a break. And sometimes it's definitely flexible, and when it is, and that's what's actually made a difference for me. And the other thing that has made a difference for me too is I've stopped apologizing for the time that I need to take for it. And so if it is during the workday, it is during the workday. And I've had to tell people, I'm sorry that I'm going to be working out at that time. I'll be ready to go again this time.
Yeah.
Or if it's, in the evening, it is asking, hey, to my husband, can you make dinner tonight? Or even for my kids, they're teenagers. They can do more than a pizza. Please make dinner tonight. I will work out and then we'll have dinner together. But it's one of those things where it's like you have to ask people and stop apologizing for, what it is. And I actually have found that in my work environment and in my home environment, people actually appreciate that because it gives them the same permission to do the same. And I've had multiple people in my work life tell me that they admire that that's giving them an option to have work-life balance. And, I've been a leader for a number of different years, and you have the opportunity to get, your employee survey, your employee engagement survey. And when I started this position, it was a lot of conversation about work-life balance, work-life balance. And this last survey that I did, people actually had resonated on there that they're feeling that they're getting work-life balance, even though we have a tremendous amount of work in front of us. The work hasn't changed. There's another thing coming all the time. So, but they found ways to make it balanced. And I think that's really important. And it's meaningful to me that they feel that too.
Yeah, that is really good. I mean, you just dropped like two or three more really good things there. And and I know too, I appreciate it when I knew my team, a member of my team or someone was working out. I don't care, like you're saying, it's during the day, you got to do it whenever you can, because I knew that it made them healthier. And that meant, the more healthy they are, the stronger they are at home and all the different aspects of life, the better they're going to be in the workplace. So yeah, you're like super supportive for all the reasons. Like it hits boxes, as they say. So Jeri, this has been great. I'm jazzed now. I need to go work out. I skipped this morning so far, so I need to jump in. And that might be a last thing too, right? I love not asking for permission. That was brilliant. But don't feel guilty also, right?
Sure.
If you do need to skip or whatever, don't feel guilty or anything. But Jeri, this has been so good. Thank you for being a guest on EdTalks.
Thank you for having me. And it's always so much fun spending time with you.